everyone, I'm Taylor and this is Isaac, my brother, and we're here today to talk to you about how to make a flower arrangement from scratch. So as you can see here, I went to my local food store and purchased some flowers, just a different arrangement of flowers, and I'm going to show you how to make the proper flower arrangement for a social gathering or a dinner that you're going to have at your house or something to just spruce up your home. So I'm going to teach Isaac the proper way to do it. And he's going to ask questions and help me guide you to make a proper flower arrangement. Isaac, are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
What would you use a flower arrangement for?
Do that to my girlfriend.
Or?
My mom on Mother's Day.
Oh, that's sweet.
You can go back.
Ready?
Whatever we do.
Okay. The tools that you will use is, of course, you'll have your flowers of choice. You'll have a knife, a pair of scissors, a vase, and then the floral packet that's in your flower arrangement if it's applicable with your purchase. So I filled up this vase with hot water because whenever we cut the bottom of the stems, the water will be absorbed quicker with hot water than it would be cold water. The reason that we cut the bottom of the stems is so that the air pockets that are already there after they've been cut as fresh flowers will no longer be there after you cut the stems. So Isaac, we are going to cut this sleeve off. Okay? You don't ever want to pull it down over the flowers because you could rip off the petals of your flowers. So we're just going to cut up. Once you get your sleeve open, sometimes they do pretty little colors, but I don't know why. Okay. So you can take your sleeves and move them out of the way so you can see what kind of flowers that you have to work with. So we have a carnation, some daisies, chrysanthemums, carnations, alstroemeria. Isaac is going to put the florale, which is the food nutrients, into the water. The reason that we do this is so that whenever the waters are put in here, whenever they're first cut, they will be able to absorb these nutrients and stay alive longer, and you will get more money's worth out of them. So Isaac, if you want to put it in here, you have to cut it. Okay, and then we'll just take a flower and we'll stir it around. Now that this florale is dissolved, I'm going to teach Isaac the proper way to cut a flower at the bottom so that you can get the best way to keep your flowers fresh. So, for instance, we're going to take this carnation, because we have a long stem to work with, and I can show you, is we are going to hold the stem like this, figure out where we want to cut it, and then cut at a diagonal, trying not to injure ourselves, like that. You want a sharp knife in order to have a good cut. See? If you don't have a sharp knife, you can always use kitchen shears. So you just cut at an angle, like so. So for our case, we are going to use kitchen shears because that's what most households will have. So the first flower we're going to start with is our biggest flower because you want this to be the center of your arrangement. Because it is so big, you have to work around it. So we're going to make this a little bit lower. Because these are buds, they're going to be small, so they can be up higher than the rest of the arrangement. They're going to be a focal area for accents. So whenever I measure, we need to cut about 2 to 3 inches off the bottom. So I'm going to let Isaac do that. At a diagonal, remember? And why do we cut it at a diagonal?
So let more water in. Or let it suck in more water.
Okay. Very good. So see how it's not going to stand up by itself? Whenever we're making this arrangement, we will be able to prop it up. And if it does lean, you just make sure that your flowers are exposed. So we'll leave that right there. Next, we are going to cut one of our chrysanthemums. So we're going to want to cut it. You can always just cut a little and see where it is on your flower arrangement, and then you can tell if you need to cut more or if you need to leave a little bit more. You don't want to cut too much because once you cut it off, it's gone. So we're going to turn it up, just like that. And you want to kind of perpendicular your stems towards the bottom so that they'll be able to stand up and support themselves. And then that way, if you do have a wide mouth base, then the flowers will not droop over the sides. Because the main point is that your flowers be pointed up and out. Isaac, what flowers do you want to put in there next?
Carnations.
Carnations. So we're going to move this right here so Isaac can get to it, and we're going to put the carnations in there. So we're going to use the one that we've already cut the stem, and we're going to look and see where it needs to go. We just need to cut a little bit off, so I'll do that. And we'll put it in there just like that. We're going to angle it. There we go. What next, Isaac?
Daisies.
You want the daisies? Okay, so with this one, because it is multi-stemmed, I am going to cut right here above this flower so that this flower can have a long stem by itself. And then I'm going to have these bunched up towards the bottom of the flower arrangement. That way we have some color at the top and towards the bottom. So, also, whenever you are putting cut flowers into a vase, you want to pick off the flowers that will be in the water because it'll make your flowers last longer, and not all the nutrients will go to the leaves, but they'll go to the flowers instead. So we have a leaf, take it off. And then this one, because it's a little flower, we're going to keep it tall. Don't you think? Okay. So we got that one up tall too. Okay. See, that's going to be towards the middle, towards the center, like near this bud right here. We still have some yellow daisies, a carnation, some green mums, and some alstroemeria to work with. We're going to do our next daisies. So because this is so much color in one and we can't really separate these, we're going to have to put these all together. So Isaac, where do you see a good spot for these to go? If you're looking from the trained eye now.
I think it should go probably where you just put it.
Like right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
To balance out the yellows.
So, that's exactly right, Isaac. And then they won't be in a plane either. So let's cut it and put it right here. Kind of keep that flower up. And it's okay if your taller flowers are touching. You don't want one flower covering up another one because you want accent and color. The point of a flower arrangement is not to just have a big blob of flowers. It's to have flowers that you can see each one and see how unique they are. And it's another way to show that you care. Because you're going to give it to your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so your girlfriend is really going to be like, oh, he got me carnations and lilies, and she's going to be able to see all of the different flowers. Also, one thing that you need to think about whenever you're doing a flower arrangement is where is this flower arrangement going to be seen from? And what sides? Is it going to sit in the middle of a table? Is it going to sit on an end table against a wall? Is it going to sit in front of a mirror? Because if it's sitting in front of a mirror, you have to make sure that all sides can be seen and all sides are beautiful. Sometimes you can make an arrangement that's going to be up against a wall so you can show all of your flowers towards one way. So it really just depends. Also, another rule, Isaac, if you were going to give this to your girlfriend and she was going to have it at a dinner party, okay, and they're going to put it on the table where you're going to eat, you don't want to be looking into flowers. So it really needs to be short, a short flower arrangement or a really, really tall flower arrangement so that you're not looking and talking to the flowers. Right there. Is that too tall?
Yeah.
Okay. How much more?
An inch and a half.
There. Okay. So you're going to put that right there. And what do you think, Isaac?
I think that's good.
I think that's good too. Should it be about that tall, this tall?
I think it should be right.
You don't want to cover flowers. Well, let's see. We'll cut it tall and see what it looks like. Cut it right here. And put it right there. Too tall?
A little bit.
I think it's too tall. Okay, see how it's too tall? It's not in the flower arrangement. It's like on its own little outskirts. It's the outlaw right now. We don't want it to be the outlaw. So, cut it off a little bit. Okay. Okay, what do you think now?
Looks a little bit better.
I think it's a little bit better. But it's still kind of on the outskirts, so we're going to cut it a little bit more. Alright. Make sure it's wedged in there so it doesn't move. Okay, what do you think, Isaac?
I think it looks good.
I think it looks good too. What do you guys think? I think so. Okay, so in order to make sure that this flower arrangement is done, because we have all the flowers, you're going to make sure that none of your flowers are really hiding the other ones. This is where you do a lot of your adjusting and your fluffing. So in fluffing of flowers, you make sure that they are wide open and you don't have petals covering other petals. This flower arrangement is a little heavy towards the back, so I would suggest to put this one against a wall or on a coffee table to greet people whenever they come in, so that the back side is towards maybe your couch or your love seat. So you can do this with a number of different flowers. You can go to your Whole Foods, your Harris Teeter, your Food Line, and you can pick up a flower arrangement that has mixed flowers, or you can get a set of 12 roses, especially if you're trying to wow your girlfriend at Valentine's Day, and make sure they're her favorite color. And flower arrangements are not just for women, they can be for men too. As a get well or a housewarming, they are wonderful gifts, and you want to make sure that it's always made with love and picked out with your taste and their taste in mind. So remember that whenever you're making a flower arrangement, the simple key rules are, what are they, Isaac? We have to have a vase that you like. The water has to be
Warm.
The water has to be warm. Should we or should we not mix the floral packet?
Definitely, because it helps a lot.
We should mix the floral packet because it helps a lot. Do we cut the stems or do we not cut the
We
stems?
cut the stems
Why do we cut the stems?
so it will absorb, or you definitely cut it diagonally because it lets it absorb more water and it gets rid of those old air pockets that are already there.
That's right. Okay. And what do you do if one of your flowers has netting on it?
You pull it up
You pull it up. And why do you pull it up?
so it will expose all of the petals.
And it won't rip them, right?
Nope.
Okay. So can you just use knives or can you use something else?
You can use kitchen shears or just scissors
If you have just regular scissors. So Isaac, if you were going to make a flower arrangement again, what do you think one of the most important things to take from this process was?
Make sure all your colors are balanced and make sure the height varies but not too much, or one's out here, one's like way down here. Make sure there's a variety of flowers and make sure your water's warm. You got nutrients in it if it comes with nutrients. The vase isn't too crazy, and don't make the flowers be like bundled up or whatever that word is.
Keep in mind whenever you buy flowers at your either a florist or at the Whole Foods, make sure that if you have a big vase at home that you want to fill, make sure that you get enough flowers to do so. If you buy just one package of flowers, you need to have a smaller vase with a large mouth that you can make your flower arrangement in. Isaac, is there anything else you want to tell the audience?
Don't cut yourself when using knives.
And whenever using knives, be super careful that you don't cut yourself. The easiest way to not cut yourself is to have a sharp knife so that you don't have to force the cut on the flowers. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and learn with us how to make a flower arrangement from home using scratched flowers that you buy at a local food store. Thank you from me and Isaac, and I really do hope that you learned something from this video. Bye guys!
See ya.